help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer. No room for any less. Live. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound.
Morning, Jacob. I think you can hear me, yeah. Okay. Turn the music down a little bit. I'm still working on stuff.
Trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success.
Morning, Ed.
No room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less.
Listen now. I wake up to the sound of the trading bell.
I wake up to the sound of the
Trading bell, my heart starts to pound.
Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any
Okay,
less.
I'm just getting set up.
I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in
Okay.
my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow.
Let's put on, we'll put on Do Not Disturb.
Together we'll conquer, no room for any
There we
less.
go.
Listen now.
Do Not Disturb. I'm still pulling stuff up here. I'm not pulling stuff, I'm pulling stuff up here. Thumbs up, by the way. 16 people. Thumbs up. I am looking for anything that resembles earnings. I mean, you know, you can go over to earnings here in Seeking Alpha and earnings surprise by quarter. You can see they really haven't surprised too much, but the stock price has really done well. So they're expected to grow 8% year over year. I like Earnings Hub for this kind of stuff. Hit that thumbs up button. Yeah, I should put, you know what? Here, we're going to put this. This always gets, you know, I pinned it into the, I don't want to edit this. We'll just put that up. This is your link tree. We're going to pin this. I got the trash truck coming, so. Let's put in siren. Oh. Siren. Red alert. No. Yeah, why can't it? Fire. Red. Maybe this one? I'm looking for an emoji. Maybe this one. We'll put in that one. Why not? Do, 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 do. Copy. Oh, won't let me paste. Copy. Boy, it takes me forever to do shit that's like artistic. Paste. And boom. And pin message. Okay. 27 folks. We're going to go over some charts. I got a big show planned. Lots of charts. We're going to go over lots of charts. Specifically, we'll go over the watch list. The watch list that I put in Trendspider for everybody. We'll put in the watch list. Wah, 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 wah. Morning, Chris. Let's say market scanner. Wah, wah, wah. Sort or manage columns. I guess I can put in different columns. There we go. Bank of America. Not excited. I mean, it's been going up, so. Morning, AJ. Or namaste. Namaste. Stock twits. Did anything get NUE? New core. I think this is that financial one that everybody loved and hated. And let me see. What is new core? Summary. It's materials. Yeah, this is the mining company. Is it? Yeah, steel. New core. Morning, Simon. New core has a interesting. We'll put that one in. Not one that I, would love. We'll scan this. My brokerage holdings. Morning, Josh. By the way, I was watching my hair's a little bit less. Boy, I look fucking old. Oof. I just looked in the at the picture. Jacob, yes. I turned it into a paid, yeah. So essentially what happened, remember, that's for paid newsletter subscribers. So paid newsletter subscribers get a coupon code. So that's the portfolio that I was setting up for paid newsletter subscribers. Try and give them some additional stuff. But in reality, I think people may look at it like you're taking things away. No, I'm not taking things away. I'm just adding stuff to the paid newsletter subscribers. It's not like, the stuff that I go over. Most of it's here. I mean, just, be honest with you. Most of it's here, but I'm paywalling some stuff to try and I've got enough people paying me, that money that I feel guilty. So I had Savvy Trader turn it into a paid subscription. It is in the chat. So if you go to Substack, you download the Substack app, or if you go to the Substack website, dailystockpick.substack.com, and you're a paid subscriber. So here, if you go over here, and I won't show it in here because then everybody's going to get it, but here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see chat. And in the chat, you'll see a thing. But Patty, if you have any questions, just email me. Yeah, just email me so that I can respond in email, or message me on the Substack app, or do something where I don't have to put it in public. That's the deal. So, and I will put it into the paid newsletter today too. I'll put it in there so you'll get it. So you don't have to email me. I'll just put, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to write myself a note. Put the coupon code for Savvy Trader in the and by the way, Savvy Trader was not I turned on all the paid portfolios for paid members to a free. So and I know I'm gonna fuck that one up. I mean, just perfectly honest, I know I'm gonna fuck it up. I mean, I am just a mess when it comes to technical crap and making sure I have everything set up. So I think I'm better than most, but yeah, Jacob, I didn't announce that portfolio that it was there because Savvy Trader was having problems turning it into a paid portfolio. And so you have to create a portfolio and then ask Savvy Trader to turn it into a paid portfolio. And I knew I wanted it paid. And they said, yeah, just create it. We'll put it. Then they had problems. And so it sat out there open. And I was like, it's probably not what I want. And I'm not going to announce it. So I delayed the release of a video because I didn't want to put it up there. So I'm sorry that, some people, I think there were 9 people that found it without me saying anything. So, in fact, it was funny because they asked me, they said, should we hide this from public view so nobody finds it? And I said, no. I said, if people want to pay for it, they can pay for it. I mean, it makes no sense. I got you. Listen, there is one zinger in there. There is one zinger that's taking off because of earnings. So, I'm debating whether I say it or not. But if you saw the portfolio before, you know what's in the portfolio. So, it's just something that I'm gonna revisit probably every quarter. I mean, listen, it's not up. Just to squash any rumors. In fact, the stock battle, Nader and myself and James were talking last night. The stock battle, we're all down. We're all down. So, yeah. I mean, Michael Burry has not made money since 2009. So, and he's been posting cryptic memes ever since. Okay, I think this is it. We got a good list of stocks that are pretty bullish. I mean, yesterday I was in a very heavy 6-figure day. I had a very good day on the market. An exceptional day in the market. Exceptional day in the market. So, morning, Leslie. I actually had my Tesla drive me around not yesterday, a couple days ago. While I was on Spaces with Wolf and Crew. I was actually on with Omar Mars, Holmar's blog. If you don't know Holmar's blog, it's pretty famous in the Tesla community. He posts a lot of full self-driving stuff. He got super, super wealthy off of Tesla. And he's been doing really good, really well. Perfect. Good Patty. I have to find out how that coupon code works, because if I yank out the coupon code, what I'd like to do is just yank the coupon code from being added. So, but I don't know if Savvy Trader has that ability. Okay. I'll tell you what we're going to go over. We're going to go over, open with Celestica earnings tonight. We've got Meta earnings tonight. We've got Microsoft earnings tonight. We've also got Tesla earnings tonight. And this is bullish as fuck. Cars are now driving themselves out of the factory into I've already got Celestica. Okay. I'm going to take this out. Cars are driving themselves out of the factory at Tesla, which is amazing to me. Applied Materials, which somebody asked me about yesterday, it was soaring. It was up 7%. I mean, it killed it. Starbucks, good guidance. I mean, really good. Like I said, at $80, this is a $100 stock. So, Holmar's blog here. I'll show you. If you go to Twitter, and just type in Holmar's blog. I don't know. He's on the Wolf investing stuff. Here, I'll pin it up here. His name is Omar. Super great guy. I mean, just him and his dad, I think, actually, they record videos of them just driving around in their Tesla with autopilot. And I do listen, the reality of it is this particular drive, it doesn't show you the nuances because they speed it up to like 3 times speed. And I have a problem with that because it doesn't show you the start and stopping that the damn car does every now and then. I don't know. I mean, you know, for me, it's just, I like Omar. Omar's good. And the joke was, they didn't get me on with him, but the joke I was going to say was, hey, Omar, I just had my car drive me to Walmart while I've been on the phone with you. And you talked about DeepSeek. I was able to have the car drive me to Walmart, go in and pick up my groceries, come back, have the car drive me back home. And then I was able to unload my groceries while I listened to you drone on about DeepSeek. But I think I probably would have. The history of Gary is that I wind up offending everybody. I mean, that's just, it is just kind of my namesake. So, obesity drug, Metsera, set for IPO. So anybody wants to keep that on their watch list. This is going to be homework. It's an EV stock. It's up 60%. Well, it's up 38% now. Would you buy into this and why? That's going to be homework for everybody. A possible U.S. trade deal by Trump could send Chinese stocks up, and they give you the top Chinese stocks with quant ratings. What did you learn from the DeepSeek scare? And I'll have a quote that I particularly liked about that one. Microsoft said to be probing DeepSeek. I think I have this in the earnings. Yeah, I'm going to take that out from there. I'm going to take that out because we're just going to do that during the earnings portion. Biggest stock movers of the day, F5, ASML, and Lending Club, which is an alpha pick, which is down 20%. We're going to go over a lot of Trendspider stuff. And this particular one is great because Palantir, it's a custom indicator. RSI MACD confluence. So the custom indicator will find that for you. I actually built a strategy last night around Tesla Daily that Trendspider had posted. I did not get it 100% correct with their chart. So I have Trendspider looking into it. I'll share the strategy that I had because the strategy, to be honest with you, it's a 50% win rate. So average return on the position, 10%. So strategy performance, 88% over 65% buy and hold. It seemed pretty good. Patricia had asked me about stuff, and we'll go over a stock. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to go over that one. And put in the code for the savvy trader stuff. Okay. Omar. OMAR, I think, is his name. CLS and Tesla into earnings. Leslie, I am. I mean, that's a you thing. That is not, I don't give financial advice. I don't, I try not to steer people in a direction or change their minds. I try and give them more facts than anything. But in this world of the stock market, it's all opinions because the only thing that matters is price. And the algorithm has you out in Tesla. So, I have a $500 position, which is pretty much like buying lunch with the amount of net worth that I have. So somebody with $1,000 that wants to go into a Tesla and they're holding $500 worth, I would say no, it's not worth it. So I can't give you advice like that. All I can tell you is, that's a you question, not a me question. Why'd you buy the stock? What's your price on selling the stock? And what's your thesis on the stock? If you think this is a car company, absolutely sell it. If you think it's a technologies company, I'd hold it. I have XLY as my exposure to Tesla. And CLS is a alpha pick. So they haven't told me to sell it. Oh, is it beating? I didn't even know. Let me look. Let's go to Savvy Trader. This is the core portfolio. Let's see, year to date. The core portfolio is killer. I mean, and that core portfolio, Scott, is not a managed portfolio. It is not. The core portfolio is up 3.65 against SPY, against the Qs. The Qs are up 2%. So I am beating it, but it's not. I would never, absolutely never tell somebody this is the way to build a portfolio. It's an even weight portfolio of 34 names. And every now and then I take ones out. It'd be doing better if I did have CrowdStrike, VRT, Oracle, HPE, which are, those are in the watch list. So they're sitting there because I do have to add some energy names into the watch list. So, but it's a good portfolio. Again, it's just names and stuff, but let me see. We're going to close that down. We've got the premium, the bundle. We've got Seeking Alpha Premium. Then we've got Alpha Picks. And we've got all of the stuff opened up. Let's see in pre-market. Anything that jumps out to me. Apple is down 1.52%. I mean, that's after being up 10%. What's Apple up over the last 5 days? The last 5 days, it's up 5.74%. 1 month, you're still down 5%. So, but that run, it was up 3% yesterday. I mean, I don't expect, this one to be. I'm just looking at the top stuff. Sentiment suggests below consensus guide. Already discounted Wells Fargo. Spirit Airlines rejects Frontier's merger proposal. Okay. Nothing real. To T-Mobile record postpaid ads. That is a alpha pick, T-Mobile. It is up 6%. So, doing well. Roger, Victor. Good morning. Okay. Anything else in the core portfolio that jumps out at me? Nvidia's down 2%, but that was after a great day. Taiwan Semi, you had your chance to get it under 200. If you didn't get it under 200, I don't want to hear any complaints. Okay. Nothing really that kind of jumps out at me that, oh my God. I think a lot of people are just waiting for the Fed decision today, so... Scott, remember, that core portfolio is 100 names, 100 shares of those 34 names. it is not a managed portfolio. Absolutely, it is. The only reason the cash is there is because I sold UNH and I had a huge gain. And so when I decide that another name deserves to be in the portfolio, I'll buy 100 shares of it. Right now, I'm not making any changes to it. It's doing fine. The reason that core portfolio is there is because if somebody's new to investing, what are names that they could put money in that I believe should be a tradable without significant, like I'm not going to zero. That's the only source of that portfolio is not meant. It's great that it's beating, QQQ and SPY, but it's really not a situation of, this is the portfolio that you should have. If you have those 34 names in your portfolio, you should weight them appropriately. Like you shouldn't have 100 shares of which one? I think it's let's see. You shouldn't have Roblox. You shouldn't have 100 shares of Roblox in your portfolio. You should be trading Roblox. Now it's gotten that current run that it's on. And you very well may be going up to 108. I mean, you very well may be on this run. Who knows? I don't know when it's going to stop. But the valuation doesn't justify an even weight with something like Apple. Roblox has an opportunity to grow. Apple probably doesn't have an opportunity to double. But you still shouldn't have that equal weight. That's not the way I've ever invested. So just remember that core portfolio is just 100 names. It has nothing to do with the cash position. It has nothing to do with anything else. So, but it's a great portfolio. And I think those names are top tier names that you could hold. I think you had asked me about Eli Lilly. Why is it in it's going down? Why is it in the core portfolio? Well, Eli Lilly. I mean, let's just pull it up. I bought it. I think where is it? Eli Lilly. There it is. So if you look at the history of it, I bought it August 18th, 2023. I purchased 100 shares at 542. I didn't purchase any other shares. There's no other shares that have been purchased. So 542, I got a lot of downside to sit there and just think about. Am I unhappy that let's see, 1 year, it got up to 960 and I didn't sell it, 960 and 804. I'm not managing the portfolio. So hopefully that kind of explains what that one is. But again, if you hold those names in your portfolio, I think you're doing pretty well. And it's not rocket science, but it's also, I'm not charging 0.01% for an ETF. I love CrowdStrike. I own CrowdStrike. I have CrowdStrike. It was up 8% yesterday. I own CrowdStrike and I own Palo Alto. Those are the two names that I personally own. I like both of them. CrowdStrike is incredibly overpriced, I think, but CrowdStrike is a good company. We look at CrowdStrike. It's cybersecurity. 108 PE, the PEG ratio, 3.1 going forward. I mean, the growth is great. It's system software. Fortinet's the top rated in the quant from a quant perspective. $99 is what Wall Street says. They've chased it up, and it's at $99, and there's 42 analysts that cover it. But the valuation, just a little bit stretched. Am I buying into this one? No. I mean, I sold this one at like $70 or $80, I think. If you look at the chart, I think we sold half the position. Once it got to 80, I think is where we sold it. Because it was using that 80. And I said, to my dad, he's held it for years. And I said, let's just, if we want, we can buy it back. It's setting up a nice little shelf at around 95 or so. And is it getting ready to move up? Could be. But Palo Alto Networks is the one that is in the core portfolio. This is a $200 stock. Algorithm got you in at 173. Algorithm is great to use for entries on this kind of stuff. So, but I like CrowdStrike. I own Palo Alto because they're the number one cybersecurity provider. They're the big boy. And I own CrowdStrike because they're the growth engine. So, I mean, what company doesn't need cybersecurity? By the way, there's 62 people in here. Hit the thumbs up button because there's only 33 thumbs up. And now I'm going to go through. No, Patrick. Why am I saying Patricia? Patrick asked me. This is where my lack of detail comes in. I was going to call this person Patricia, but it's Patrick. Okay. We'll wait for the garbage truck to go by just in case. Earnings Hub. Let's see. Tesla, Microsoft. Microsoft's going to be tough going in at around $450. That's going to be tough. Meta is going to be tough going in at $677 per share. He just spent a ton of money on, stuff, but 6 straight days. ServiceNow, that's super strong. And you're going in with an expectation of lower earnings per share and higher revenue. Waste management is demand stuff. Morning, Eli. $1.80 versus $1.96 reported. 5.9 billion in revenue estimated. 5.6 billion estimated. Interesting one. Lam Research after Applied Materials reported this morning. Applied Materials killed it, and you can see that's their next earnings. The estimate was $9 billion. They posted $9.8 billion earnings per share. Estimate was $6.71. They're estimated $7.31, and it's actually even in pre-market. It looks like up maybe 1%. So Lam Research is expected 88 cents, 4.31 billion in revenue. Last time they posted 86 cents. They could blow it away, just like Applied Materials did. But it's not my jam. I'm not in there. Starbucks killed it. Stryker down a little bit. Chubb had a record quarter, an absolute record quarter, and we do know all of the insurance stuff. Corning's stuff, General Dynamics, Danaher, I think that's how you say it. I could literally sit here and just geek out on Earnings Hub. Down the rabbit hole of Earnings Hub. So, okay, let me see if there's anything on FinViz. Look at what was up yesterday. How could you not be up in a portfolio if you're following me? Seriously, how could you be up? And Tesla's been sideways, but Tesla's also overpriced. Tesla has been hovering around that 400 mark. But if you look at the weekly, it really hasn't moved. And the last time it didn't move, we were in for a good long bear stretch. So one of two things happens. Ford, not a bad bet in my mind. If you're going to bet on a car company, I don't think that's a bad bet, Chris, at all. The problem you're going to have is, are they actually making money? I think let's say Ford. GM was the one that has a huge high risk of cutting its dividend. So if they announce that, ooh boy. Okay, I'm going to put some soothing music on for you. And I'm going to be right back. I'll be right back.
podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.
And scene. Are there ads now? Let's see. There's 51 people in here. Why are there only 37 thumbs up? Until it isn't. Yeah. Okay. We'll go and hit record. Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 29th. I don't think there's 29 days in February this year, so maybe this is the last 29th that we hit for a while, a couple of months. We're going to go over a lot today. So first off, I'm going to put in the coupon code into the paid newsletter this morning for all the Savvy Trader portfolios that you get for free as a paid subscriber to the newsletter. We got big earnings. We got a Fed press conference this afternoon. If the Fed decides to actually hike rates and F the entire economy, call your mom. Call your mom, because the market is pricing in either a cut, which is unlikely, which would make the actual market just soar, or it's pricing in nothing. And it's really pricing in nothing. If we get nothing, then it just determines. It's going to be based on what Powell says. If he talks about tariffs, if he talks about Trump reducing spending in government, if he talks about anything of that sort, it's just about which. When you fart in a restaurant and the ceiling fan is on, does the person to your right or the left smell it, or does the entire restaurant smell it? That's what the press conference is about. That's it. So we're going to be talking about all that. One thing that Patrick from the newsletter asked me to do a video about how I use Trendspider specifically with the 4-hour. He says he listens on his way to work and can't really look at the charts and things like that. So I'm gonna work on something for you, Patrick. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, I'll do something for you because you listen on Spotify. There is video on Spotify. The way I've always envisioned it is that you use the newsletter as your Cliff Notes, and older folks will understand what Cliff Notes are. But the newsletter really comes down to, hey, you can pay to support it. And there's a few little different things in the paid newsletter. Like I give a little more market overview. I give some strategy tips and the paid newsletter. There's also the education section. So I've always viewed it as a kind of a guide. So if you don't get, if you listen, just kind of stick in your mind 2 or 3 things that I talk about. And then if you go to the newsletter, you'll find it. And so I think it's good. So we'll do something like that for the paid newsletter. It's a great suggestion. If anybody in the paid newsletter has a suggestion for a video or something they'd like me to do, just let me know. I think Patrick's more interested in how I use the 4-hour algorithm and some of the strategies that are in Trendspider, because I think people that have Trendspider, my goal is to get you to use Trendspider the way I do. I can't live without Trendspider. I can't trade without it. I don't care what the price is. Dan at Trendspider could raise the price to $5,000 a year, and I'd gladly pay it. I'm sucked in. It's just one of those things. I have tried trading without it, and I don't do well. And so I want to know the 4-hour algorithm. Are we in or are we out? I want to know where the MACD is. I want to know where the RSI is. I want to know where the volume sliders are. I want to be able to draw trend lines. I want to be able to draw Fibonacci's because I'm learning about those now. I want to be able to look at my strategy and say, hey, does it work? That's what Trendspider is. Almost 40 years, I didn't pay for a tool. I had free tools. It was perfectly fine. And so then, I had a larger portfolio, went into COVID, wound up losing a bunch of money, said, I want something that's going to help me a little bit more. And I found 2 things. I found Trendspider and I found Seeking Alpha. So let's go over Trendspider first because it's a charting program. What you see here are the entries and exits in my 4-hour algorithm on QQQ. How do I use the 4-hour in QQQ? I look at entries, okay? I don't look at, oh my God, I've got to get out of this. If it pulls back 5% or more, I may trim. But I'm not looking at the exits as a way to sell something like QQQ. Why? Well, look at the weekly chart. Because when you pull back, Wolf always says it, when in doubt, pull out. Like that should be that should be on the bedroom like mantra for Tyreek Hill when he meets a new baby mama. When in doubt, pull out. But here's the thing, when you pull out to a weekly chart on QQQ, when are you getting out and when are you getting back in? There's a psychology that I just haven't figured out. Because the reality of it is, I want to know the entry in the 4-hour, but I don't want to miss out on these big runs. So I look at the 4-hour and I draw a weekly. I draw a trend line. Remember, you touch 3 points. This touches quite a bit more than 3 points. Do I want to add in a ton when I'm above that? No, I want to add in a ton when you pull back to that trend line. So I add in sparingly when the 4-hour gets me in there. That's how I use the 4-hour on that. How do I use the 4-hour on something like Roblox, which is a crazy stock? I look at it like, hey, I got an entry in Roblox. It wins 48% of the time. Or, I just did this strategy last night based on a Trendspider post. I said Tesla. They posted that they have a great strategy and they didn't tell me the strategy, but I built it. And you know what? It wins 50% of the time, okay, over the last 14 months. And I just tested it 14 months. I didn't go back a ton. I said 14 months is plenty for me to know. And you can see back here, this is all the entries and exits. It wins 50% of the time. The reality is it makes you 88% return versus the buy and hold of 65%. 14 months, this stock has been in an upward cycle. You had one time when it was out, and it got you out during that time period. So if you want this strategy, I will share it in the newsletter. Again, the newsletter is just like the Cliff Notes. I will share it. You can see strategy performance, 88% versus buy and hold at 65, 50% win rate. Now you may say, well, I don't have Trendspider. How do I get Trendspider? You go to Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick, okay? You click that top link, and that top link takes you to a page where you can look at the different plans. Now, I steer people towards the advanced plan. And the reason I steer people towards the advanced plan is the unlimited one-on-one training. Let me give you a little bit story of Eli, who's in the chat window right now on YouTube. Eli has had Trendspider for over a year, and he decided to do the one-on-one training. Okay, I don't know if he upgraded his plan. I don't know if he paid the money for a specific one-on-one plan, but he got a one-on-one training from Trendspider. I'll just game-changing. He said the dashboard, things that I don't even go over on this podcast. And the reason is I don't use them, but you could use them. So there's so much more out there that Trendspider has done that you could benefit from. That's why I lead people to, for at least 1 year, get the advanced. And then you can pull back to the enhanced or the standard, okay, to find out what you use. He says he upgraded his plan. So when you upgrade your plan to the advanced, you get unlimited one-on-one trade. Think of it this way, and this is the way I put people in. You're going to take a training class for a year, okay? The training class is going to cost you $992 for a year, but you don't get a set schedule of training classes. You're going to take 2 courses per month. What's that? $41 per course per month for 12 months. That's what it is. And they throw in the tool, okay? They throw that in. And then next year, you can go down to the enhanced and you can get one-on-one free training session for the year just to bolster up your skills. Find out what you want to use. Again, what it comes with is my 4-hour algorithm. I will include a bunch of other algorithms that you could put in, strategies that I've built. It also comes with the ability to basically see something on Trendspider like this. The strategy takes some time to hit, but when RSI is over 50 and the MACD is bullish, it's ultimate long signal on Tesla. Enters on a daily when both are in agreement, exits when they're not. I just took that language, put it into Trendspider. I'm not a coder. I'm not somebody that understands exactly what this does, but I said when the MACD and the RSI are bullish, give me an entry. And then I get this spit out, and it gives me a strategy. And it tells me when to buy and sell. This is the 4-hour. The 4-hour has you out right now. Now, I like the 4-hour algorithm. It gives you 191% return versus a 210% buy and hold return. It wins 48% of the time. This is my tried and true. So if I want to get into Tesla, I'm using this one. But if I want to go back to the Tesla strategy, and I just go back to let's see, Tesla strategy. Where is it? I'm gonna have to type in Tesla. There it is. Tesla strategy daily. And we look at this one. This one has you in at $221 right there. Okay? $221. Boy, and it still has you in at 401. That's a great return. It's a great return. So again, you've just got to, if you have Trendspider and you've gotten it through me, you should have the 4-hour. My goal is to make sure that you're comfortable with this tool. So if you have any questions on this, just go and ask me. But again, I'll put all of this in the newsletter for Tesla's earnings today. Another thing that Trendspider has is Palantir. Look at this, Palantir and custom indicators. You can import custom indicators. This is the RSI MACD confluence. Okay, they have created an indicator for you that tells you when to go and no go. Okay, green means go, red means get out, and white means hold. Okay, this is a good indicator. Look at how well it times Palantir. Timed it on the earnings and said, hey, move in, move in. So I like that one. Green means go. Get into Palantir before the earnings. That's what they're saying. And you can import this. I'll include this link in the newsletter. Okay. Let's go over biggest movers of the day. This is just F5 killed it last night. F5 is a cybersecurity platform. And I own CrowdStrike and I own Palo Alto Networks. I do not own F5. But if you look, their valuation's less than Palo Alto Networks. Because if you look at the valuation here, 19, that's pretty good. The PEG ratio, that'll go up as they start to grow because their growth has been D+, but they did raise their guidance last night. Wall Street says it's worth $282. It's trading at $302. It's a pretty good, again, we're going to go back here and we're going to go to the biggest movers again because ASML is another one. This is Applied Materials. These guys make the materials for Taiwan Semi and other fabs that actually make chips. They killed it. So what do you think is going on? Taiwan Semi is expanding their plants. NVIDIA is printing a record number of chips because we know China is training on those chips. Again, semis are doing well. Biggest loser? Alpha Pix, Lending Club, down 22% after the company reported mixed Q4 results and weak Q1 guidance. And here's the thing. Alpha Pix, it's part of the bundle, part of the Seeking Alpha bundle where you get premium and Alpha Pix. I have Alpha Pix. Here's the killer part, and it does hurt to lose 22%. But the great part about Alpha Pix is it's a portfolio, and the portfolio greatly outpaces the S&P. So if you just want a no-brainer kind of thing, I don't think about this. I absolutely do not think about my Alpha Picks. People are asking me, CLS, Celestica, it's an Alpha Pick. They're reporting after the bell today. They've had a great run and they just pulled back a ton. Would you be buying more? Are you selling it? No. It's an Alpha Pick for me. Do I sell it? I wait until they tell me to sell it. And the great thing about Lending Tree being down 22%, I'm not losing sleep at night because the reality is when they tell you when to buy a stock on the 1st and the 15th of each month, it's 1%. So I put in $50,000 into Alpha Picks, okay? I think it was 2 months ago they told me to buy Lending Tree. It's 1% of my portfolio. If it goes to zero, I'm down 1%. You lost more than 1% in an hour on NVIDIA the other day, and you're sitting there holding NVIDIA, and you're going to worry about a 20% drop of 1% of your portfolio? I'm not worried about it. Again, they know how to manage a portfolio. And when it comes to Lending Tree, they will give you a detailed breakdown of Lending Tree today after earnings. So I like Alpha Picks. How do you get these? You go to the link tree. If you want the bundle, you can get the bundle. You save $159. If you want just Seeking Alpha Premium, you get $30 off and a free 7-day trial. If you just want Alpha Picks, you get $50 off. Okay? It's a great portfolio. But again, am I worried about Lending Club? No, I'm not. I'm just not. What did we learn from DeepSeek scare? Okay, if you were in the markets, if you listened to me Monday, I said call your mom. It's a horrible day, blah, blah, blah. What did we learn of this? And this article goes over some great stuff. But one of the things, the last one that I want to point out, the market is telling us that cheap, often open source AI is a good thing. Less AI-related CapEx means larger buybacks and higher dividends from established companies that can market useful AI tools to global user bases. Their past investments are sunk cost irrelevant to tomorrow's stock prices. AI is now a product development and marketing challenge, not a sinkhole for capital. That's the co-founder of DataTrek Research. What she's saying is that, yes, we have spent a ton of money on AI in this country. And yes, if the claims from China are true that they spent less money, and it's likely they spent far less money. It's not likely they spent $6 million. It's likely they spent $500 million to $1 billion. Okay, but we've spent somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 billion already. Trump just announced a $500 billion investment into AI and data centers. So as long as the money was spent and we have the compute power now to get to enhance ourselves and to enhance it the way DeepSeek did, it tells us those companies are well set up, and now AI is a product development and a marketing challenge. It's no longer a compute challenge. Does that mean that you get rid of NVIDIA? No. Zuckerberg just bought a ton of NVIDIA chips. You will still need NVIDIA chips to do this. It just may not grow the way. Remember, the comps from last year are going to be tough for NVIDIA to hold up to. Their growth is going to be a little tough. But what this article did down at the bottom, it gives you some of the ETFs that you can get exposure to that are a little bit more tech related. And maybe you want to get out of those Mag 7s and into ETFs. Okay? It's a great, great article. I thought it was very, very well done. And here's the thing. Trump, we know he talks a tough game, but we know he loves these leaders in China, in North Korea, in Russia. A possible U.S.-China trade deal by Trump could take China equities higher from Cantor Fitzgerald. They give you a great list by quant rating of Chinese companies that you can invest in. Okay? It's a great, great list. And FXI, just so you know, FXI is a buy in the quant. FXI is the leading China large cap ETF. And it hasn't done super well. Year to date, oh, come on, Seeking Alpha. These guys keep telling me it's an Apple problem. I am on Chrome. Okay? Year to date, you're up 5%. So, again, if you look at the holdings of this one, the number one, 8%, Alibaba. Number two is Tencent. Tencent is the owner of TikTok. Number three is Minuten Class B. I don't even know what it is. But if you want the shares, FXI is the way to go if you want China exposure, but you don't want to go with a single company. Like Baba. And remember, Baba, I said it yesterday, Baba showed off their newest, latest AI. They were up 10% yesterday, somewhere in that neighborhood, 97. Look at that high at 115. The 52-week range is to 117. You're right in the middle. So am I buying into this one? No. Is it a likely kind of risky one? Yeah. Cybersecurity went nuts yesterday. Absolutely nuts. We're going to look at some charts. We're going to look at my two holdings, PanW. Here in the 4-hour algorithm had you in at 173. Okay. MACD was way down. RSI oversold. Oversold, which means it was due for a bounce. You're at 189 right now. Couple of days, really, really good gains. Let's look at the weekly. Because are we stretched? No. I mean, you just hit the 50-day. Last time you hit the 50-day, we continued upward. You know, the MACD, not as high as it's been. High. But it's not like, it's like signal to me that it's going to crash. Now we can look at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike was up almost 10% yesterday. CrowdStrike is one. In the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 256% versus 307% buy and hold. I am a buy and hold guy on CrowdStrike. Where'd the algorithm get you in? $361. You're trading at $399 now. The algorithm wins 59% of the time. Again, you want the algorithm? Sign up for Trendspider. It could be, I bought here. Were you buying when it was at $200? I was. Because the algorithm got you in at 200. I waited until we had confirmation. I bought here. Was I happy when it started pulling back? No. Did I buy more? Yes, the algorithm told me to. Did I get out on any of this? No. We're trading sideways. We are in for a bigger run. And you pull up a weekly chart on CrowdStrike, and you can see we're in positive territory. We're moving again. We're moving past the previous all-time highs, and we will use that as support. Look at how the MACD reset itself. And the RSI is now up at 65. And you've got earnings coming up, let's see, March 3rd. You can also look at Sentinel, Zscaler, Fortinet, any one of those. Any one of those. And here's some homework for you, okay? This one, Environtech. It was up 60% in pre-market. It's an EV. Is this one you will invest in? It's homework for you. Environtech vehicle stock rally 60% on sales order under New Jersey zero emissions incentive. Is that one that's good for you? Go and do your homework. Okay, another homework one. Obesity drug developer Metsera sets terms for $275 million IPO. $275 million. Do you want to get into the GLP-1 space? Because this one has a ultra long acting drug for GLP-1. And it's not IPO yet. Go and do your research on it. So a little bit of homework for you. Let's go over to Trendspider because I do want to focus on Trendspider. And we're going to go to the daily stock pick watch list. This is just one that I created. I add to it every now and then. So if you sign up through me, you get this watch list. Let's just go over some of these. Okay. I added a new one yesterday and it's WCLD. This is the Wisdom Tree Cloud Computing ETF. Look, algorithm got you in there at 37. The MACD was way down. The RSI was oversold at 21 on this one. Okay, the algorithm makes you 33% versus 61% buy and hold. It wins 37% of the time. I would argue it is not a great one to play the algorithm. But with this one hanging out around the 200-day, with the cloud computing fund, okay, and software, we're going into an AI space, software should rebound. And you can go over to Seeking Alpha and WCLD, and we can go and look at the holdings on this one, okay? The holdings, Twilio, which is an alpha pick, Bill Holdings, Atlassian, DocuSign, Fastly, Freshworks, Toast, Cloudflare, HubSpot. 64 positions, okay? 64 positions. You can go look at the peers. You can see CLOU. You can look at the expense ratio, 0.45. TECB, the U.S. Tech Breakthrough Multi-Sector, 0.30. And then you can look at the price return. And you can see ESPO over 1 year has a 46% return. ESPO is the Van Eck video game and esport. This is the path. The quant rating on OGIG, which is ALPS O shares, global internet giants and ETF shares. This one is up 32%. So it's beating WCLD. So again, that one's a strong buy in the quant. This is the rabbit hole that you can go down in Seeking Alpha. It is really, really good. But you start out with all these charts. Let's just go over stuff. How do I use the 4-hour algorithm? I'm just going to use the down button by going through this watch list. Affirm looks pretty good heading into earnings. Are we going to go for another leg up? Take a look at a weekly. The algorithm makes you 146%. I'm okay with 146%. We don't even, we just got the 200-day down here at 43. It looks like that 51 is going to provide you some support. It's pulled back several times on the weekly just to that 51. Maybe that one's one that you could look at. AIQ, which is a global artificial intelligence technology. Look at this one. Okay, 60% it makes you. Over 22 positions, win 59% of the time. You could make money there. ALAB, which is an AI space, which NVIDIA invested in. And I don't even know what they do. But it had you out with a 208% gain. The algorithm got you in at 41, got you out with a 208% gain in January. Hasn't gotten you back in. Heading into earnings on February 10th. I'm going to hit the down button. AMD. I own chips. I own NVIDIA. And I own Broadcom. I don't own AMD. I just don't believe in it. Why? Well, look at the algorithm. It just doesn't work really well. And I'm like, I just don't want to own that one because the algorithm it's not trending in the right direction. AMZN, which is a drug pharma company. I've got this one in there. Look at this one. Nice turning 50-day. And it's not at the 200-day. The 200-day is at 298. Could this one be turning around? Well, look, it just bounced off the 200-day. The MACD is super low. Again, you just go down this list. Arista Networks. This one pulled back 10, 15%, used its 200-day. Okay, at 102, you're at 105. That would be a nice move if you just bought it at the 200-day. The algorithm makes you 161%. It wins 83% of the time. It had you in here at 100. It got you out with a 4% gain. It will get you back in. Take a look at a weekly. Because this one, you don't even notice that blip. But we will recover so that trend line continues. Just the MACD super high. Identify your time frame. Maybe it's on the 4-hour. ANF. I've said this one is ready to go. It broke the trend up there. See how it's below? But now our MACD reset. The RSI at 35 coming up on earnings in March. This one could get a nice gap fill up here to 147 to 155 where it dropped down. Look at the volume spike on that one. Okay, do we have a volume up higher? When you pull it back to its highest level here, the volume shelves just aren't around. But it's above, it's between 129 and 161. So I like it. And this is how you use this software and how I use it. AAPL has you in at 333 or at 356. You got a nice little gap fill up here to the 400. You take a look at a weekly on this one and just go, we don't have a 200-day because it's a relatively new stock. MACD super high. Do you believe in it? Their earnings are coming up, let's see, February 10th. Okay, ARM Holdings. This one is a brand new one. We don't have a 200-day on the weekly, but this one, the algorithm makes you 186% versus 164% buy and hold. It has you in at 136. You're trading at 147. I like this one, but I do think that 174, you can go and research it in Seeking Alpha. Broadcom. This one has had a big pullback. I own this one. I own this one around 130. It got you out. I will be getting back into this one. I'm currently holding, but I will start adding to this because my plan is in March to start taking some long-term capital gains, and I like this stock. This is the chip stock where if Google is going to make their chips, they're using Broadcom. If Amazon's going to make their chips, they're using Broadcom. If Meta's going to start making their chips, they're using Broadcom. It's a competitor to Credo, CRDO, which is one of the top 10 alpha picks or Seeking Alpha picks for 2025. So I like this one. You know, that weekly MACD looks extended. But am I getting out of it? No. But am I using the 4-hour algorithm to get in? Yes. Boeing is on this watch list. Boeing just pre-announced earnings that they were doing, and their earnings didn't take them down, but the pre-announcement did. Algorithm has you on in 175. I think in a good day, that's a $200 stock. You have Bitcoin ETF. You have Booking Holdings, which has just been soaring and pulled back to its 200-day. Okay, BLDR, which is a building resources company. Cardinal Health, which is a former alpha pick that they got out of, and it started to move. Look at the 200-day now moving positive, 50-day moving positive. They still like this stock. They just got out because it was a rules-based portfolio and they had to get out, and they haven't added it back in. Caterpillar makes you 53% versus 57% buy and hold. The 4-hour algorithm just seems to protect you. CLS, Celestica, it's under $100. Remember when this was trading at 120? And I said, boy, I'd like to get this one under $100. I will. It's an alpha pick. I'm going to add this to my portfolio. I like this one. I really, really like that stock. Coinbase is one. You know, coin is at 281. I have CONL. This one's down a little bit. I believe in CONL. I just think Coinbase is going to pop at some point in time. When do they have earnings? They have earnings coming up. Looks like February 13th, 14th. CrowdStrike, we went over. Datadog. You've got a lot of names in this portfolio. And you can just hit the down button, look at those stocks, look at the 4-hour algorithm and say, maybe this is one that I want to get into. You know, OCLO is up 3% today. OCLO makes you 122% in the 4-hour algorithm. The buying and holding makes you 200%. Do I think that this one's got more room to run? Absolutely. Absolutely on hype. PSIX is up 3%. This one's a little funky because of the data in Trendspider with the changing from over the counter to NASDAQ. So it doesn't, you know, look at the entry, but not the past performance. It's going to perform well. It did previously before they changed it. You know, Sentinel. We just talked about Sentinel. This is in the core portfolio. This is in the watch list. 2214 right there. Okay, you got a gap fill up there. You could literally spend all day going down just this list. It's a huge list. It's got a lot of names. And the reason it's there is because it's stocks that I've talked about, looked at, or once mentioned. And I put it into here and I clean it up every now and then. When names need to come out, you got Granny Shots ETF, which is Tom Lee's ETF right there, which you can see it started trading. Okay, started trading with just $20 is where it got you in to 2071. It's not a great ETF in my opinion. But again, the guy wanted to grift, so he did that. So we looked at this. I've got some notes. Is AppLovin getting ready for a move higher? CLS, is this one too stretched? Coin maybe due for a pop. I'm holding CONL. Crowd pop. Datadog looks like it's regaining strength. Dell is just breaking down. GDX, which is the gold miners, looks to be turning. GEV just started to come back. That's GE Vernova. GM pulled back to support at $50. We can go and look at GM. Look at this one. It just pulled back. It broke down on support. Is it using this as resistance again? Because it used it as resistance before. But this ran all the way up to 60. It's still a strong buy in the quant. MHO looks interesting to return back to its high. MOD needs to find support because I just don't see a downside support with earnings. It could pop. It's a coin flip. Arista Networks, or NET, Cloudflare, I'm sorry, going back to all-time highs. Oklo looks strong. Okta could be going back up. So I've also got a note in here for myself to mention. We'll go back to the core investments. Brad Gerstner was on yesterday. He was on CNBC down in Miami at a conference. And he said, he was talking about NVIDIA. Did you buy the dip yet on Monday? Because he believes that this one is just priced too well to ignore. That's what he said. So let's talk about what's actually moving stocks. The Fed will move stocks today. Like I said, we've got a lot of potential volatility. So you want to watch the VIX, you want to watch the 10-year, you want to watch that stuff. If you're watching stuff, if you have bets in the market, I would just say that they probably will move today on bets. Your overall portfolio, you should be sitting and just holding. But Starbucks, it highlights earnings upside from return to coffee house vibe. Starbucks just did well. This is the first time they reported under the new CEO. He started bringing in some old colleagues from Taco Bell. He's engineering a turnaround. Now, it's expensive. It's expensive. Wall Street is probably chasing this one up. Yep, it's at 104, and they're going to start chasing this up. Remember, just in 2021, they had a $131 price target on this. It's trading at 106. Now, we can go and look at it in the 4-hour algorithm. This is not one. I don't go to Starbucks. Last time I went to Starbucks, I had my birthday hot chocolate, and I remember it was I think 80 grams of sugar. I was high for the rest of the day. I had IHOP French toast, and then I was just high for the rest of the day. Look at that. Algorithm got you in at 91. Okay? And it's been a turnaround stock. Do I think we're going to cover this gap here from 77? This was when the CEO was announced. That's the gap from 77 to 90. You're using 90 as your support. You just use 90 as your support. Wait 3 days. If it comes under 100, buy it under 100. Okay, ASML, we talk about chips. This one's up 6%. They killed it. They killed it on earnings. Chips are continuing to run. Then what do we have tonight? We've got Tesla. This is bullish as fuck right now, I'll tell you. This video that you're seeing right now are Teslas driving themselves out of the factory to their parking spot waiting to be delivered. It's bullish. I'm telling you, he's going to do something today that is going to move that stock. He's going to get a ton of questions about stuff. Let's go look at the chart. We looked at the chart. I had that 1 hour. I had my 4 hour. I am holding this one. I have about $500, which is a zero position for me. That's like, somebody, that's you spending $5 on lunch based on my net worth compared to most people. So please do not take the fact that I'm holding into earnings as some type of amazing, oh my God, I'm bullish on this one. I own a Tesla. I like Tesla. I have made mistakes in trading this one before. I don't know what I'm doing, just like most people don't know what they're doing. But the fact is, you have to have a thesis. And under $400, I think you add to this stock. But I don't want to add to this stock with all of the uncertainty around this current earnings. Because yes, last year was horrible, but is he going to actually up guidance? They're taking away the $7,500. If you believe that this is a robotics company, then this is still a fairly valued stock. If you believe that this is a car company, it's overvalued. So it depends on your thesis. But you've got earnings tonight. And then you've got Microsoft tonight as well. Microsoft is said to be probing if DeepSeek improperly used OpenAI data. This is a whole article that says that Microsoft actually alerted OpenAI that somebody was scraping their data for training purposes. Now, Microsoft, they're going into earnings at $441. I'm nervous, okay? I'm nervous because when you look at this chart, they just haven't been able to pop that 472. And you look at this one. Yes, it's still, the 50-day still moving up. The 200-day still moving up. We have a nice volume shelf building right here between 420 and 430. If you lose that volume shelf, 350 is your support there. And that's based on this pulling back to 2019 during this time. Now, if you pull this back, if you pull this forward a little bit to where we really started breaking down in 2021, you can see there's still some volume shelves there, but the main shelf is right here at 350. That's where most people are sitting and holding. But on a weekly, your MACD is low. Your RSI is 56. Strategy here. For me, if you don't have a lot of Microsoft, I would say don't get into it before earnings. Wait until after earnings, because if this continues to go down, I think you've got a good buy. If it just soars, then you've missed the boat. But if it goes down, I think if you go below 400, I think this is a screaming buy below 400. And Meta's been positive for the last 7 sessions. It's down slightly today. They report after the bell. Okay, we can look at this chart. I have said it before. I've said it many times. I said if you could get this under 500, you should get it under 500. You had plenty of times to get it under 500. That's just July. Okay, if you're not holding this one, why didn't you buy in July? Why didn't you buy August 5th when the stock crashed down to, $450? Why didn't you buy? It's because you're scared. But the reality of this company is they are printing cash. Okay? The algorithm got you in at 615 right there. 615. You're trading at 670. They have earnings coming up. They've been too positive. I would be much more positive on Meta if they came in at around 620. At 670, I'm nervous. Am I getting rid of it? No. I believe in the long term of this company. When you look at the weekly, the support level right here at 550 has been provided. So the absolute downside, where if I bought at 670, the absolute downside I would identify is 550. Until then, I'm actually starting to buy. So I'm actually dollar cost averaging if we pull back there. If this one goes under 600, go and get it. Okay? Meta is a hold in the quant. And when you look at Wall Street says it's worth $672. If it pulls back, you go ahead and buy it. I just think there's too many people that use these services. And he's got open source. And we just went over what the DeepSeek stuff that the reason this one's up is because the China DeepSeek stuff has taught us open source will win. And right now, Meta has the top open source AI. Okay. Another one that's reporting earnings is Celestica. This one, again, it's a strong buy in the quant. This is an alpha pick. It's number 1 out of 16 in the electronic manufacturing services. Valuation B, growth B, profitability is a problem. It's a C+. But again, if they report really good earnings, this is not one of your major companies. It's an $11 billion market cap, okay? It trades 1.3 million shares per day. That is not a lot. So just realize this could absolutely pump back up to its all-time highs. What does Wall Street think it's worth? $105. What's the 52-week range? All the way up to 131. So if you see this one pull back, buy it. Look at that pullback. Did you buy here at 87 the other day? Because it was at 87. Okay, if you didn't, it's not on your watch list. You don't have a successful plan. If this was in your watch list and you didn't buy it, you haven't created a good plan. It's a top stock. Steve Kress's top 2025 stocks, you can see it's right there. It's a top stock for the year. So there again, let's talk about what's bullish in the 4-hour algorithm. Well, Bank of America, it's up almost 1% again today. You can see on a weekly right here, we've just broken out of that little range that I drew on the chart. See how it's, come on, Trendspider. The weekly, right there, that little range where it went up, pulled right back to the 200-day. Here on August 5th, again, at the 200-day, you had the chance to buy this at 35. It's at 47 right now. Okay, Nucor is one. Some of the ones on the watch list or on, I think, the top stocks, Jackson Financial. I think this is Jackson Financial. JXN. is the symbol. This is one that's strong in the quant, $92. $92 the algorithm got you in. It's 97. Their earnings are coming up, let's see, February 17th. A little bit stretched. Look at the weekly. Look at the weekly. Did you buy it here last week when it pulled back down to 83? 83, it touched the 50-day. You don't have a 200-day. It's still new. And you can go over here, JXN. Let's just look at it. What's JXN? We'll go back to the summary and we'll see it's a hold in the quant. When was it a hold in the quant? Let's go back and let's just look, because I think this one was a strong buy at some point. It's been a hold in the quant for quite a while. It's a hold in the quant. There we go. It was a strong buy at 36, and they say hold. Where are you trading right now? Strong buy at 36. It's at 97. Okay, valuation, perfectly fine. 5.71. The sector's at 12. Growth, 2,072% year-over-year growth. Okay, profitability, a little bit of a problem. That's it. B minus, short term, you're minus 6%. Revisions, 3 up, 2 down, 2 up, 0 down. When you go and look at Wall Street, what does Wall Street say it's worth? They say it's worth $102, which is 5% upside. So this one has 5% upside. Now, when you look at the 4-hour, this one got all the way up to 115. Could it be going there? You've got the 50-day starting to move positive. So again, look at these charts, understand what you're looking at. It's not that hard. Trendspider makes it super, super easy. So I'll put all of these in the newsletter. If you have any questions, hit me up. Again, if you're a paid newsletter subscriber, just ask me questions. Okay, talk to you later. Bye. Wah. Hunter, I put it in the newsletter yesterday. I beat Unusual Whales. It was on Seeking Alpha. I mean, I put this one here. I'll show you. I mean, I just went over China. But if you go to Seeking Alpha and you do this, Alibaba to sell stake, that's Thursday, January 9th. This was yesterday at 6:13 a.m. Alibaba's Quen launches new and more powerful AI models. And then today, Alibaba rises on Citron, touts Alibaba's new Quen AI models. So I put this in the thing yesterday. I think if you like Chinese models, you go and buy Alibaba. Alibaba is the Amazon, and it's significantly undervalued compared to Amazon. So, yeah, I graduated high school in 1988, so you upgraded, but it was cheaper. That's what's crazy is sometimes those sales on renewals on Trendspider, it's actually cheaper just to upgrade your plan and get it for a year, and then you get unlimited one-on-one training. Shame on you, Hunter. Shame on you. Thank you, Eli. Those were awesome on AI stock strategies. He was good. If you get it in into Trendspider, put it on the paid new. Put it in the chat on Substack, Eli. Share the strategies. I was planning on doing that, but I had so many people asking me questions. It was 43 minutes. I thought it was a pretty good show. I do think my latest shows, I'm killing it. If I can pat myself on the back a little bit, I do think the last, I would say the last 2 weeks have been really great shows. They may have scared some people. They may have frightened some people out of the market on some. They might have hyped some people into the market. But I think overall, they're good shows. And I'd like to get to There's a guy who just started on Substack, and he won their giveaway. He's a TikTok guy, and he won their giveaway for $25,000 or something that they were doing. And reduce background noise, flat. Okay. And he was interviewed yesterday, but he does 5-minute news stories on, not like, it's just one news topic, on just the day. And it's like at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. And I like what he's doing, and I'd like to actually do something like that with my show, where it's like, okay, I'm going to do 5 minutes, and you'll get everything that you need to know. But unfortunately with stocks, 5 minutes is tough, but I might go back to that 1 minute stock analysis, where I just look at one stock for 1 minute. Yeah, and it's free. Listen, your Netflix costs you 15, 20. Say, I think it's like $15 a month. So let's do math. What's 15 times 12?
15 times 12 is 180.
Yeah. So that's what I charge for my paid newsletter. I mean, it's about that price. I think it's $189 or something. I think I give you, what Netflix gives you is entertainment. What I give you is entertainment, but the ability to actually make that money back. That's the way I look at it. So that's why I don't think that I charge too much. Some people bitched at me like maybe a month or so ago about how much I charge. If you don't want to pay it, you don't have to pay it. It's the way I look at it. I didn't pay for tools, and I made money, and I give away so much for free. It is what it is. Cleveland Cliffs is up 1.78%. Dell's actually rebounding a little bit. I'm a little scared of Dell just breaking down. It's broken that trend, and that's what worries me. I'm willing to hold on until the February 24th earnings, but I mean, SMCI is actually doing better than Dell. That's what's crazy to me. They don't have an auditor, and yet if you bought SMCI like at 23, you could have sold at 40. So Eli, I think I have it monetized. And my guess is that YouTube finally found out how popular this is, and so they're inserting ads. So, maybe at some point, Eli, I'm going to figure out how to share my screen on Substack so that the paid newsletter people, right now you can only get Substack Live through the app, but they've told me that they're making it available on a computer soon. So like if you watch me on YouTube on your computer, you wouldn't be able to watch me on Substack without your phone or like a mobile device or an iPad without the app. So that's where I kind of think that I'll probably go live. They've said I use an open source software called OBS to actually stream and show my screen here. And they've told me that I can set it up. There's things called profiles in here, and I can profile it so that I broadcast on both. But yeah, and I think it's just started today. And the reason is, remember, I had 500 people watching the other day when I said, call your mom. Yeah, but WF, I mean, here's the thing. I get it. I mean, I don't. It probably deserves, and I know not everybody listens to every day, and there's probably 3,000 like diehards. I know there's 3,000 diehards of this program worldwide. There's tens of thousands that listen, but there's probably 3,000 that are the actual diehards. And you know, there's probably 50 that are diehards that tune in every morning here on YouTube. But the reality of the situation is the longtime listeners will know in 2023, I started the newsletter. I had the podcast for 2 years, and then I started the newsletter because the charts were what people wanted to see, and it just made sense. I wasn't an affiliate yet. I the podcast was pretty much free, and I was making some ad money. I think it was like maybe $20 a month. Yes, Kia, I colored my hair, and it will be completely white. It will be the color of by the time I'm done. It just needs a few days. I think I need to dye it like 6 times in order to get the whiteness. The red kind of the darkness doesn't come out. But so I started the newsletter and I started becoming an affiliate, and the newsletter was free. And then I was planning on releasing kind of a PDF of, okay, here's my system. Here's how I look at stuff. And, you know, if you want to follow this, blah, blah, blah. And it's stuff that I do for free, but I was going to put it into PDF form and charge like, $20-$30 for it, something like that. And then I accidentally hit the paid, and people had pledged money. So it started to charge people, and there were a few hundred, I think maybe 100, maybe 60 that had pledged on the newsletter. And they said, we're going to pledge. And it immediately charged their credit card. And I came on air the next day and I said, listen, it charged your credit cards. I'm so sorry. I hit a button. I don't know what I'm doing. And essentially, nobody asked for a refund. So I said, okay, I'm going to start giving you content. And so over the next year, over 2024, in 2023, I really started the education section and the paid section and things of that sort. And I started adding more and more and more. And I upped the price. So anybody who got in early, I think they're paying like $20 for a year. I think there's some people paying $50 for a year. But you've gotten benefits. So if you lock in the price now, when I raise the price, you don't get the price raised. So you lock it in. So there's some people paying, I think they got in monthly for like $8 a month. But they've been paying me for a very, very long time. And if you stop, then when you re-sign up, you get the new price. So it's not like I control the prices or give stuff out. And I typically, if somebody wants like a free 7-day trial, I just give them a free 7-day trial. In fact, I think there's a free 7-day trial when you sign up. But I do think that the value's there for people. So that's the thought process is not, hey, I'm going to start charging for everything. And yes, I'm retired. Yes, I'm making money at this. I'm making a very good living. I'm retired, but I am putting 60 hours a week into this kind of stuff. It's a lot of time. So, Lending Club, I don't think it's an overreaction based on the earnings. I think you had a stock that has run up quite a bit. I mean, look at that weekly chart. You had a stock that ran up quite a bit, and you're seeing it pull back. I mean, what's the bottom? The bottom right now, the bottom wick is right at that 200-day at 13. So, yes, they changed. I didn't. Where? Up here? I saw analyze with AI. But I haven't seen AI prompt. Yeah, analyze with AI. Yeah. I think what they're doing, they're testing out. I think they're using the, there's not a lot of people that were using it from my understanding. And I think people are just underestimating it. And so they thought if we put analysis, Lending Club is an alpha pick, Keo. So as long as they say buy it, I say buy it. So, but it's a you thing. That's a you thing. I mean, if you like Lending Club and you use it, it's a financial. I wouldn't own it outside of me having alpha picks. I mean, that's just me. Interesting. I haven't gotten that pop-up. I keep getting pop-ups about upgrading to the Pro. That's what they keep telling me. Okay, it is 10:60. I'm going to be here forever. I think I've got a bunch of spaces today too. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking
You got
risks,
out
making
of
moves,
the
seeking
shower.
success. Together we'll conquer,
Hi,
no
Mr.
room for any
Octopus.
less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the
You got out of the. Oh, hold on
sound
before you. Let me stop streaming.